people were invested in this Alec Murdaugh trial. I spoke with people who were inside the courthouse today. What we know right now is that an NCPD officer was involved in a crash right here on the corner of Dorchester Road. Katie, these bags are now on every single parking meter along King Street between Spring and John Street. Katie, Dr. Eric Gallion will make at least $275,000 a year. That's just his base salary. You can see just how much construction is going on behind me, but Mayor Waring says that construction is moving quickly. The waves were coming up all the way to where I'm standing right now, with that main concern being beach erosion. On my right in the Oakcrest neighborhood, residents tell me they didn't see much flooding at all, just the typical rain and wind, but residents on my left tell me that they saw up to a foot of water in their living rooms. The proposal for the nearly 70 acres of land includes retail, restaurants, hotels, and housing. Had those students in custody within minutes of being tipped off. Still, parents have plenty of questions they want answered. Katie, the main suspect, Ryan Manigault, is facing charges for killing his sister-in-law and 11-year-old daughter. I spoke with 2 grandchildren and a son of one of the victims today. They tell me they're still wrapping their mind around the tragedy that took place.
I just want Ryan to know that he'll never be forgiven.
Dozens of family members at court today expressing their anger towards 33-year-old suspect Ryan Manigault.
What you did, you hurt us. You took away our matriarch of our family, someone who took you in, fed you just as her own.
Manigault was denied bond after being charged with 2 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Still, after yesterday's incident, 4 others were found dead. Family says one was over 100 years old.
I still can't believe he did it. And then to us, to our grandmother, like, it's just why?
Oh, my mom, she was about 101 year old. She did something good to get that age.
Another victim was Manigault's sister-in-law, Michelle Wright.
Well, Michelle was the heartbeat and the backbone of this family. She took care of our grandmother.
And Manigault's 11-year-old daughter, Sharia Manigault.
And then you had the kids, you know, the babies that were in the house. I'm at a loss for words.
Family I spoke with today say they never saw this coming.
You know, everybody has a side to them. And as far as the family is concerned, we always saw the good side. Like, he was sweet, he was kind.
Manigault was part of their family.
I mean, I don't understand why and how and what happened. I don't understand mentally what happened to Ryan. And Ryan, I just don't understand why, because why did it have to go to this?
Now, law enforcement tells me more charges are coming pending the autopsies. They also say the 2 identified victims were found with stab wounds. Reporting live in Colleton County, I'm Floriana Boardman. The incriminating audio has several Republican and Democratic leaders demanding Crystal Matthews' resignation. This is the second audio recording released by Project Veritas with shocking statements coming from Matthews. We went to Goose Creek in hopes of getting a response from the state lawmaker about what she said. This is video of one of multiple attempts to get a response from State Representative Crystal Matthews on the leaked audio.
Please leave my private residence. Thank you.
Racist and bigoted, that's how the chairman of the state Republican Party describes the recording.
If you're a white individual in that district being represented by her right now, how do you feel about potentially having to go to her as your representative to get help on a particular issue you may be working on?
In a statement, Matthews claims she, quote, said what she said, but she contends the recording was taken out of context. Matthews says she was referring to MAGA Republicans and not all white people. She's calling for Project Veritas to release the entire recording. We asked the founder about her request. You said that you release more than a typical recording.
I sure do.
Yes.
Yes.
Now Matthews is calling for you to release that entire videotape. Are you going to do that as well by holding yourself to that higher standard?
No reporter releases their full, raw reporter's notebooks ever. That never happens.
So then how are you holding yourself to a higher standard as a reporter by not fulfilling their request?
By showing Matthews in her own words so that you can hear the intonation in her voice.
Still, leaders remain disturbed by the audio. In a statement, Democratic State Representative Justin Bamberg called her words toxic and an inaccurate representation of the Democratic Party. Joe Cunningham, the Democratic candidate for governor, shared the same opinion. He's calling for Matthews to resign. Now, Matthews is trying to replace Republican Senator Tim Scott in November. We have all of those statements from Cunningham, Bamberg, the GOP, and Matthews herself on our website at abcnews4.com. Working for you live in studio, I'm Floriana Boardman, ABC News 4. Katie, a typical CCSD board agenda has a call to order, approval of meeting minutes, and then a moment of silence before the Pledge of Allegiance. But a new amendment to board policy could allow for prayer to be part of that procedure before meetings. Board members voted 5-4 last night in favor of a proposed policy amendment. That amendment would allow for a prayer of, quote, wisdom and discernment to open special and regular board meetings. However, there are some stipulations. That prayer can only be directed and conducted by school board members. The prayer must be non-sectarian. It can only reference God or the Almighty. It may not invoke one religion in preference of others. Lastly, it must precede public business. Still, it's a divisive policy among board members.
You have board members who feel this sense that they need to petition something greater than themselves for help in making wise decisions.
We're an elected body, which means we govern in a homogenous environment, and we should not be introducing any form of religion aside from what someone may want to do individually.
The amendment must go to a second reading before it can be officially adopted, which could be as soon as the next board meeting. And coming up tonight at 6, what Low Country school districts are already doing this?